A very good afternoon. Many thanks for staying with us here on TV47. Welcome to Newsfeed. My name is Mombi Chege. Now, 2 people lost their lives in a night accident along Nairobi-Embu Highway after a motorbike they were traveling on hit a lorry that was parked by the roadside, according to Embu West Sub-County Police Commander Charles Kinyua. The 2 lost their lives on the spot and their bodies have been taken to the morgue. Kinyua has urged drivers and motorists to be careful while going on with their businesses to avoid such incidences.
Ikawa kwa bahati mbaya watu wawili ambao walikuwa na pikipiki, mwenye kuendesha pikipiki na mwenye kubebwa, hawakuona hiyo lori, wakuja na kastukia tu, wafika kwa lori, waliweza kuoga hiyo lori na wakaanguka chini na wakakufa hapo hapo. Tumefika, tumechukua maiti zao, tumepeleka kwa mochari na uchunguzi umeanza. Tujue makosa ilikuwa ni ya nani na mwenye atakuwa tumepata na makosa, kama ni mwenye lori ama ni nani, tutachukua hatua. Na ningetaka kusema ni mzuri tuwe waangalifu wakati unaendesha magari kwa barabara, kwa sababu kama ni gari yako ikiharibikia kwa barabara, lazima uonyeshe mataa na uweke kila kitu ya kuonyesha iko hatari hapo.
Now, the national government, through the Ministry of ICT, has invested 1 billion shillings towards improving technology infrastructure across the country. ICT Principal Secretary Jerome Ochieng has assured that his docket is committed to improving fiber optic cable that will enhance internet connectivity not only at sub-counties but also at ward levels across the country. Jerome was speaking in Vihiga County during the tour of youth empowerment centers.
Let us use our social media properly. Now, if we have this infrastructure in place and the youth can be able to access information, they'll be able to access our website of the county. If we advertise for some tenders, they'll be able to spot it right there and apply for them. For now, many of them, if they don't have bundles, they cannot be able to access our website and be able to read what we have. Not only tenders, but also job opportunities that we put there and other kind of information that they need.
Currently we are having about 1 billion Kenyan shillings that will be looking at establishing all these infrastructures that we are talking about. And the effort there is to ensure that, I know it's not enough, but again, we still have to start somewhere with the little that we have, and we still need to get more resources so that we continue having many other counties and many other sub-counties connected. So with the idea of moving now to the grassroots, like I said, first of all with the fiber we started at the national level, then we are now moving to the county, we've moved to the county level, then now we have the sub-county level, then the next phase is how to move to the ward level. And that is really our objective, because we want the whole country to be fully wired.
Now, police in Nakuru County found themselves at a crossroads after 2 farmers laid claims of 2 cows stolen 5 years ago and recovered earlier this month. Now, according to Rongai Sub-County Police Boss Richard Rotich, his department has opted to use science in order to settle the matter of 2 Frisian cows with a striking resemblance. Take a look.
In a bizarre incident in Nakuru County, the police have been forced to turn to science in determining the true owner of 2 cows. According to Rongai Sub-County Police Boss Richard Rotich, the police found themselves at a crossroads after 2 farmers laid claim on the Frisian cows found on August 10th this year along the Nakuru-Eldoret Highway.
A dispute of ownership. 2 people are claiming the same animals. We have talked to the 2 farmers. They have given their statements. They have given the date of birth of the animals. The claimant has given the date when her animals were stolen.
The 2 farmers, Anchi Rotich and Gloria Kandie, have both brought forth evidence on ownership of the cows, putting the police in a dilemma.
Mmoja ilikuwa mrefu na akona hapo kwa upande ya shingo akona ring, kuna ring, shingo ni black lakini akona ring ya white. Huyu ng'ombe hapa mbele akona rangi nyeupe yenye imejichora inakaa smart. Na huyu ng'ombe nilikuwa nimekata pembe kitambo wakati ule nilikuwa naye, sababu ilikuwa ni ng'ombe kisirani, tukakata pembe ambayo niliweza kuona hiyo pia ya alama. Nikaona ng'ombe ya kwanza ako sawa. Upande ule mwingine, yule ng'ombe mwingine ni ng'ombe mfupi mweusi, alafu kwa matiti zake kuna matiti mbili yenye ikamuliwa yenye ni zile ndogo ndogo. Huyu ng'ombe pia ni mweusi na ni mfupi.
For credibility, the police have now procured the services of a government veterinary officer whose scientific report will be correlated with the statements of the farmers recorded at the station.
Kuna zile meno za chini zinaitwa incisors. A mature animal akona 8 incisors. And as the animal ages, hizo incisors vile inaendelea kukula, hizo meno zinaendelea kuwear out. So looking at the dentition, we can be able to estimate the age of the animals. And for up to 5 years, the method is very accurate.
Once the report is received, the matter will be expedited, with the true owner walking away with the freshened cows. Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
Now, a section of leaders from the Garissa business community have welcomed President Uhuru Kenyatta's directive to DCI to hasten investigations into the improprieties at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA. Addressing the press in Garissa town, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and industry officials led by the National Director Omar Sadiq called upon the president to ensure that those found culpable are prosecuted as per the law, despite of their high and mighty statuses in the society.
The SMEs and the locals, if corruption is being played everywhere within the sectors, but we should also be in a position to not being taken away by political or business rivalry to be played with the life of the Kenyan people.
Pia serikali ya county, kwa vile kuna wafanyabiashara wengi ambayo wanafanya biashara na serikali ya county, tunataka kuna pesa nyingi ambaye serikali ya county kama bending bills haijatoa kwa wafanyabiashara ambayo walifanya biashara na wao. Tungeipenda sana sisi kama wana chapter ya Chamber na na Chamber ya Commerce, serikali ya county ijaribu sana kuwapatia watu pesa zao.
Business people are crying. Due to this COVID-19, business has doomed kabisa the whole country, yeah? Not only our county, but everywhere. And we are pleading to our able governor kindly to pay bit by bit, baby faces, to our business partners that have pending bills.
The government has warned chiefs and village headsmen in Kilifi County against favoritism and corruption in the implementation of Kazi Mtaani program in the country. The Principal Secretary in Housing and Urban Development, Charles Hinga, said the program has been successful since its inception and has helped in transforming the youth who are now actively engaged in some meaningful work while touring Kilifi County to inspect the progress of the youth doing the Kazi Mtaani. The PS heard from the youth in Mnarani that some locals were left out in favor of other youth from outside. Hinga said 283,000 youths have been absorbed into Kazi Mtaani.
$283,000 young people ambao tumeemploy in all over the country. Kilifi hapa county yenyewe iko na watu zaidi ya 6,000. So hilo ni juhudi kubwa sana ambalo tumefanya kwenye huu mradi. Kwa sasa hivi tangu tuanzishe ile phase 1 na hii phase 2 tumeweza kulipa shilingi bilioni 2,147 2.147 billion. That is money that has gone directly to young people and young families. And I think if there is a program that is having the positive effect, ni hii hapa hivi. Kwa sababu one, hiyo pesa wakilipo hawa vijana wanaispend hapa hivi kwenye local economy. Na mnajua haya mambo ya COVID wakati COVID imekuja hapa hivi imeleta hasara kubwa sana. Mahali tumeongea na EACC na DCI pia. Tukasema ya kwamba waingie kwenye our county implementation team, all right? Ili if there is anybody who is trying to introduce ghost workers, they are able to smoke them out. So we have put in enough measures. And we're very serious and very determined to smoke them out. And that's why we are saying the first thing is to be very transparent. Yeah? Let the community be the last line. Kwa sababu vijana munisikize. Kama kuna chief wenyu anafanya ukora, ama timu yetu ya nyumba 10 wameweka watu ambao sio vijana, inamaanisha ya kwamba amezuia kijana mwenzako apate nini? Opportunity. Okay? Kwa hivyo this program, you must be the people ambao wanaiprotect hii program.
And still on the youth, Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has urged leaders to come up with innovative ways of creating employment opportunities for the youth instead of criticizing President Uhuru Kenyatta's Kazi Mtaani project. Kenny Member of Parliament Kanini Kega echoing those sentiments whilst warning the youth in the area against immersing themselves in illegal activities as stern action will be taken against them.
Kutokana na mradi huu rais ameanzisha wa Kazi Mtaani ni kusaidia vijana wetu wapate ajira kidogo hasa katika miji mikuu, and we were targeting low income areas in the urban areas. The program has been very successful, but we know we have more young people. We have more people than those that have been absorbed in the Kazi Mtaani program. Sasa mimi nawaomba waheshimiwa wajumbe wa bunge na viongozi wa county kama deputy governor yule yako hapa, badala ya kuleta mambo mingi kuanza kukriticize hiyo mpango ile president amesema sijui hatukuhusishwa, na nyinyi anza mpango wenu pia. Sasa ile ya president ni Kazi Mtaani, nyinyi anza kazi vijijini.
Kuona vijana wameanza hapa na pale, unasikia kuna ukora hapa na pale, na haswa ukifuatilia unakuta ni vijana. Haswa ningetaka tu kuwaomba, mimi kama mmoja wenu, haswa vijana, mambo ya kujiingiza kwa zile vikundi haramu, na waomba msiingie, kwa sababu mwisho wake itakuwa ni mauti. Manake unapoenda kinyume cha sheria basi utakutana na serikali. Kwa hivyo nawaomba, hata kama tuko na changamoto, kama leo kuko na giza, si kusema kesho hakutakuwa na mwangaza. We will create job opportunities.
Deputy President William Ruto has called for unity amid the current political noise ahead of 2020 general elections. Now, DP Ruto spoke in Mombasa after a tour of Nyali CDF offices, a community library, Kongowea Secondary School, and the issuance of NHIF cards to Nyali constituents at Kongowea Primary School. Nyali Member of Parliament Mohammed Ali and former Mombasa Senator Hassan Omar drummed support for Ruto's 2022 presidential bid. They also rubbished the push for amending the constitution.
Mpaka siku ile nchi ya Kenya itakuwa na haki na usawa kwa kila Mkenya, hii nchi haitoweza kuendelea. Ndio sisi tukasema kuwaleta chini wale mwabwenyenye wa kila siku na kuenua sisi wananchi walala hoi. Sisi lazima tuingie katika vuguvugu la hasla. Kwa hivyo namwambia naibu wa rais William Ruto, they can all be against you, but we will stand with you on this journey to the very end.
Naona siasa vile ambavyo inachezwa sasa, tunaambiwa ni katiba. Mimi nauliza, hii katiba imekukosea wewe mwananchi? Hii katiba imekudhulumu. Eti wanasema wanataka kuunganisha Wakenya. Utaunganisha vipi Wakenya na wewe unabagua watu wengine? Unashika watu wengine na unasema unataka kuunganisha Wakenya.
Hakuna magumu, hakuna mazito ambayo hatuwezani nayo tukiwa pamoja. Na ndio mimi nawauliza, msiwasikize wale wanatuambia porojo, ama wanatuambia eti kuna sijui mrengo huu na mrengo ule. Sisi ni Wakenya moja.
Away from politics, after being hit hard by the coronavirus pandemic, because they can no longer reform, many musicians have devised different means of keeping them afloat. Calvin Chitwa met a group of musicians in Eldoret who have opted estates for recording services which attract low costs, cushioning them from the heat of COVID-19.
William Getumbe with his fellow artists on the mic. This is after identifying awareness songs in society on how to maintain relationships and remain happy as the virus pandemic bites.
So sisi tunatumia hii fursa hapa Bill Gates Records kusaidia youths, kusaidia watoto, wasanii wadogo watoto, kusaidia ladies, kusaidia gentlemen, kuwasaidia katika kukuza usanii wao na kukuza talent yao.
They are banking on music to reach out to young people with messages of hope and entertainment.
Nimeimba rap ambazo pia zinaguzia watoto wadogo, youths, na kuimba nyimbo pia zingine ambazo zilikuwa zinaimbwa kitambo kama Paulina, ebu cheza tukuone, unaona? Bam chicha. Yani vitu ambazo zinaweza leta fun kwa watoto wadogo pia na youths.
Getumbe, who is a gospel artist, decided to start his small studio in his house at Kapsoya Estate, Eldoret, which he is currently using with his colleagues, cutting for them cost of production.
Lakini unaona pia hata space ni ndogo sana. Hii ni table room, unacheki ni bedroom, unacheki ni sitting room, ni kila kitu. Sasa there is need for space.
Kufunza wengine production, kufunza wengine vocals, the way wanaimba, na pia wananisaidia sababu wanaenda wakifurahia wakisema kuna producer.
The space is small and cannot accommodate a big number of musicians at one time. Apart from training the young people, he also helps them to produce music at an affordable cost. They believe that producing music has provided them with means to make a bigger change at a time when constraints on movements and socialization has become more challenging.
Najaribu kuelezea ambao bado wako chini ya kwamba kuna siku Mungu atawainua pia nao, kwa sababu mimi amenitoa mbali, pia wao watatolewa mahali waliko kwa sasa.
Calvin Chitwa, TV47, was in Gishu County.
Thank you for that report, Calvin Chitwa. And on the international scene, over 500 Burundian refugees were repatriated from Rwanda back to Burundi on Thursday. It is the first group to be facilitated to go back home after they voluntarily requested for it. Diana Eriza, our correspondent from Rwanda, has that report.
A group ranging between 500 to 600 Burundian refugees being repatriated by the Rwandan government back to Burundi, their home country. The Burundian refugees have been living in Rwanda for 5 years. As you can see, we're now at the Nemba border, the border between Burundi and Rwanda. And the refugees are now arriving and ready to cross over to Burundi, their home country. The transportation between Mahama camp, where they were living for almost 5 years, has been fully facilitated by the Rwandan government. Anticipation was in the air. This group of refugees could not wait to return back home in Burundi. The event was graced by officials from the Ministry of Emergency Management, UNHCR, representative of Burundian government, and security officials from both countries. At the occasion, every repatriated refugee had their body temperature taken, and they had to have tested negative of COVID-19 before the day of repatriation.
Given that we have to do the COVID testing for all of them,
and have to wait for the result to know who is clear to travel, and it took us to work overnight to make this happen. We have accused some delay, but everything is perfectly under control, and you have seen that the two authorities were at the border from the Rwanda side to accompany and from Burundi side to receive the refugees.
According to the news we hear on radio, there is peace in Burundi. Because of that, we miss our country and want to go back. Our fellow Burundians have come to receive us at the border. I am very delighted to see them and to be returning back home. I am very happy to be returning back home. That is where the rest of my family is. I am beyond happy to go back. Speaking to the press, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Emergency Management, Olivier Kayumba, noted that Rwanda is committed to facilitating any refugees willing to return home.
Those who want to go to their home country, they have to register to UNHCR if they want an organized return. Otherwise, they can come to the immigration and request for crossing, and they'll return home without any problem.
One thing I would like to mention about Mahama camp, it is the largest camp in Rwanda, and it has facilitated and hosted Burundian refugees for 5 years so far, from ever since April 2015, and so far it has a population of 60,000 refugees. So this is basically an indication that the Rwandan government was not holding any refugees, Burundian refugees, hostage as it was alleged by the Burundian government.
Thank you for that report, Diana. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has called the protesters the night before in Washington, D.C. a disgrace. Trump was addressing supporters gathered in New Hampshire to listen to him after being officially nominated as the Republican candidate for president, counter